everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. I think this is my third time doing this tag. I really do like doing it because it is great to see how I felt in the middle of the year and just to see whether or not some of these books make it onto my favorites list at the end of the year and all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of like looking at what has been going on with my reading halfway through the year. I will link the creators video down below as well as all the questions, and I will link my 2019 reading goals video down below as well as like my check-in video, and I talk more about like my goals and if I have so far like completed a lot of them. But as always on Goodreads, I put my goal at 100 books, and so far as I'm filming this I have read 144 books, so I'm doing pretty good. My secret goal is to read 300 books, which I have done in the past, so I'm trying to do that, but I feel like I'm just gonna end up reading like 250 again or something. But I'll link those videos down below where I talk about it more in depth. Alright, so let's just get on with the tag. Question 1, best book you've read so far in 2019. And for a lot of these questions, I am going to pick more than one just because it's really hard to pick just one book. So for my favorite books of the year so far, I do have a few. I have Bound by Duty by Cora Riley, Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. I'm loving her books. She is definitely a new author that I have been loving. I also really loved Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride. Those I also do consider favorites. A few other favorites I have is Archer's Voice, 5 Ways to Fall by K.A. Tucker, really great emotional contemporaries. Another favorite is Tinsel by Devney Perry, really loved that one. And a recent favorite that I haven't hauled yet, nor talked about because I just read it a couple days ago, and that is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I really loved this. I will talk about it in my June wrap-up, but it was just amazing and definitely a favorite book of the year. So yes, those are some of my favorite books of 2019 so far. We'll see if I stick with them till the end of the year. 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2019. I have 2 answers for this. For just like a sequel in general that doesn't follow the same main characters as the first books, and it's kind of like a companion series really. So I'm gonna go with Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley. I flippin' loved this book. It was so much better than the first book, which was Twisted Loyalties. I'd given that one like 3 stars, and Twisted Emotions I almost gave 5 stars. Like, it was so good. I really loved it. Definitely fantastic sequel, but for like a direct sequel where it follows the same characters as the first book, I'm gonna go with Always Red by Isabel Ronan. I loved this book. I gave the first book 3 stars. This one I gave 4. I really liked it. The characters were so much better in this one, and I just liked the story and the way that the plot was going. I really loved it. So the first book is Chasing Red. 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. For this, I'm gonna go with Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really want to read this. I bought it when it first came out and I have yet to read it, and I don't know why because I read a couple of her books and loved them. So I think it's just because there's so much hype and everybody loves this and says it's like an emotional roller coaster, and I'm not ready to read it. But I really do want to try to read this before the end of the year, so hopefully I will do that. For most anticipated release for the second half of the year, I'm going to link both of my most anticipated videos down below, but I'm going to pick a couple. The Burning Shadow by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the second book in the Origins series. I'm very excited for that book. It apparently is massive, and I'm just really excited to read that one. The Play by Elle Kennedy, which is the 3rd book in the Briar U series. Cannot wait to read that one. Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I always love their books, so I can't wait for that one. Bound by the Past by Cora Riley. I'm actually anticipating any of Cora Riley's books in the Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles or the Kimura Chronicles. Any book that comes out in either of those series are my most anticipated, so I'm excited for those. And the next book in the Winston Brothers series by Penny Reid, Beer Necessities, I think. But there might be also another novella. I'll just put up the picture here. I'm excited for any of those ones by Penny Reid. I'm always excited for Penny Reid's books. Those are just some of my most anticipated reads for the rest of the year. 5, biggest disappointment. I'm gonna go with Best I've Ever Had by Abby Glines. I wasn't that excited for this book. Like, it wasn't a most anticipated read. It wasn't a book that I had super high hopes with to begin with, just because this series has kind of let me down a little bit. It's not Abby's best. So I didn't really expect amazing things, but it definitely did disappoint me because it just, even though a lot of her books are very, very similar, it just felt like too similar, and it just felt like I don't know, there was just something about it that disappointed me, and I just didn't really like it, and it's not Abby's best. I'm still gonna read all of her books, but you know, it's not her best. Number 6, biggest surprise. I'm gonna go with The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. This actually came out like literally 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It came out a really long time, and I finally read it earlier this year and really, really loved it. I gave it like 4 stars. It was almost a 5. I just really liked the characters, I liked the plot and the way that the story went, and I just thought it was super interesting and different. This is a sci-fi mystery with like government stuff. I don't know, I really, really liked it, and definitely a surprise because I haven't heard the best things about this book, but I did enjoy it. Another big surprise for me was The Bad Guy by Celia Aaron. I really liked that one, and it kind of surprised me just because I thought it would be like a typical dark romance, and I'd probably give it like 3 stars, but I really enjoyed that one. It was a dark romance that basically followed a sociopath who kidnaps this girl and tries to make her fall in love with him and like them be together forever, and it's just like a big game to him kind of, and I just really liked it. It was really entertaining and a very different and unique dark romance. Number 7, new favorite author, debut or new to you. I'm gonna go with Cora Riley and K.A. Tucker. I have read 4 of K.A. Tucker's books so far, and I really, really enjoyed all of them. I gave them all like 4 stars. They were all really solid contemporaries, and I really enjoyed them, and I can't wait to read more from her. I am planning to read like all of her books. I'm just trying to do them in like release date order, and I feel like for a lot of her books, they're kind of emotional and heavy, so I kind of have to be in the right mood, but she's definitely a new favorite author, as well as Cora Riley. I have read 9 books by Cora Riley, and I've loved them all. They are fantastic. I have read both of her most popular like mafia books, and I really enjoyed them, and she's definitely an author I want to continue reading from. Number 8, newest fictional crush. I don't really have one, to be honest. I also just feel like this question is kind of weird. I don't have like a specific new fictional crush. I feel like any of the males that I've mentioned in these books, I guess would fit for that, but I don't have like a specific crush from any books. Number 9, newest favorite character. For this one, I'm gonna go with Bree from Archer's Voice. I really liked her. I thought she was a fantastic female character, and I loved her voice in this book. She dealt with a lot of horrible things, but she also seemed very positive and uplifting, and she just always saw the best in people, and she just had a really kind heart, and I thought she was a fantastic character and definitely a new favorite character. Number 10, book that made you cry. You'll hear about this in my June wrap up, but I did read Eleanor and Gray by Brittany C. Cherry and bawled my eyes out the entire time. This was such an emotional book. It was super heavy and beautiful, and I cried like the entire book. Number 11, book that made you happy. This question was really, really hard for me. I couldn't find like a specific book that made me really happy or that had a lot of happy moments, but the one that did kind of make me feel happy and feel good was The Bride Test by Helen Huang. Even though this book does deal with heavier topics and it's not necessarily like the most cheerful or happy book, like the characters are struggling with things, but overall it did make me kind of happy, and it was pretty cute, and I think like the overall ending was what like really made me happy and hopeful, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it was really cute. And definitely the book that came to mind when I thought of a book that made me happy this year. Number 12, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I bought Until November by Aurora Rose Reynolds this year. I think it's part of the Valentine's Day editions, I think. I can't remember exactly what these editions were for, but I already have the entire series right here, but I wanted this pretty cover of Until November because Until November is my favorite book in the series, so I did want this specific cover just because it is so cute. I love it. All the other books in the series with these covers are super cute too, and I really did want them, but I had to just pick one, so I went with my favorite in the series. I don't think these are available anymore. They might be available on her website, but yeah, I love this cover. 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have a couple right here that I would love to get to. So I have Save the Date by Morgan Matson. I have One Small Thing by Erin Watts and The Reckoning of Noah Shaw by Michelle Hodkin. I need to read these 3 books this year because I keep putting them off. These all came out last year, so I would love to get to these ones. And I would also like to try to read this probably like when the 3rd book comes out, so probably in like October, November. So hopefully I can get onto this one around then, but these 2 I'd really like to read this summer because I think they're like more summery books. I'd also really like to read some popular romance authors that I haven't read yet. I did make a video about that, so I'll link it down below. But I still have to read Mariana Zapata book. I would love to read a Candy Steiner book or a book by Corinne Michaels or A.L. Jackson. Those are definitely authors that I want to try to read this year. And then yeah, I guess the rest is just like my most anticipated reads for the year. That's probably it that I need to read by the end of the year. Question 14, favorite book to film adaptation you saw this year? I'm obviously going to go with the After adaptation. The book is by Anna Todd. I loved the movie adaptation. I know it's not a perfect adaptation. It's not really similar to the book at all, but I loved the actors. I did love the directing of the movie, even though the director was not the best choice for this movie because she wanted to change so many things. But I did like the way that she directed the movie. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the actors, especially Josephine and Hero. I loved them as Tess and Hardin, and I can't wait to see them in After We Collided. And I just really loved the adaptation, even though it's not perfect and it's not the best thing. There's just something about it that I love, and I like literally can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why I've like seen it so many times in theaters, and by the time this video goes up it will be out on digital, so I will probably be watching it a lot more as well, but I just absolutely loved it. So 15, favorite video you've done so far this year? Definitely my after reviews, my after movie reviews. Those are definitely my favorite videos I've done so far this year. I think just because I am so passionate about it, and I think because I just feel like I did such a great job with those videos. I was very thorough and I wrote everything down, and I just feel like I went through a lot of things and I talked about a lot of things. I just feel like those reviews are just some of my favorite videos I've ever done. I just really loved them. And the last question, number 16, favorite book community member, blogger, booktuber, bookstagrammer. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, I just really haven't been looking at people lately. I've been just kind of focused on making videos, and I've kind of slacked on watching a few people, especially new people. I always try to have like a new answer for this question, but I've just really been bad at it, and I'm sorry that I haven't been watching videos lately. But if you have any booktuber or bookstagrammer or blogger that you think I should check out, leave them down below. Also, if you have a channel that you want me to check out, go ahead and leave it down below. I definitely do need to start watching more people again. I feel like I've definitely fallen off of that. But let me know some bookish people that I should check out. So that is it for this tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know some of your answers to these questions down below. I'd be very curious to know so far, what is your favorite book of 2019? And what is the one book you are anticipating for the rest of the year? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.